everybody, this is Deanna from YouParent, and this episode is my family's review of the recent Disney movie, The Odd Life of Timothy Green. There is an adoption focus in this film, and so we were privileged to go to pre-screen as an adoptive family. Of course, we all went with the exception of Sam, who was not in town at the time. So we saw the film. I loved it.
Hi, everybody! We just saw, and our whole family just saw the new Disney movie called The Odd Life of Timothy Green. We're not going to spoil it for the people who haven't saw it yet.
2. We've been directed. We've been threatened. My wife said if we didn't talk to you about this movie, we'd get no pizza for a week.
Hi! We want to talk about The Odd Life of Timothy Green.
Because we're odd.
Because we are all odd.
Yeah.
It was really quirky, really different. It was creative. I thought the script was fantabulous. I want to give my kudos to Disney for taking a risk and sort of breaking the, the formulaic trend that they have. This was just so interwoven with different themes and all of that.
You could think that Timothy's a little weird because he has leaves on his feet and he has to wear socks all the time.
Not everyone in my family did love it.
I saw a movie where a child grew out of the ground and lived with a family for a while, so that they felt ready to parent. And then the magical kid left, disappeared into thin air. And then the parents felt like, okay, now we can adopt now that we had this magical kid grow out of the ground. So then at the end of the movie, they adopted. It's a very strange thing.
And then the kid left because he ran out of leaves on his legs that grew from the veins on his legs.
It's funny because my husband and my son Andrew had, they're like, gosh, come on, this is so far-fetched. It should be an animation.
Sorry. I know I'm being useless, but this movie was really weird. And if I were to convey my honest feelings about the movie, it was really strange. And I don't come away from it feeling it's a great adoption film because the whole premise was ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Because it's like an animation type story, like magical story. And but it's set in such a realistic plot and like set.
There's more out of Harry Potter that you can walk away with than there is in this movie.
It's because,
it's such a ridiculous premise that this child grows out of the ground and lives with them for a while and then magically disappears and then they feel ready to adopt, so they do, and that's the whole movie.
See, they could get away with a kid growing out of the ground if it's like an animation thing or like, oh, it's magic, blah, blah, blah. But this is like so serious and like like a realistic Disney movie. It doesn't make, it's so confusing.
It was ridiculous. I wasn't confused, I just thought it was ridiculous.
How come you think it's so strange when a boy has leaves growing from his legs, but you think it's totally okay for a man to be dressed in a bat costume saving the world? Or a man in a spider suit jumping from building to building? Or, just all of this crazy stuff. That's okay. But to you men who think this is far-fetched, I will say, okay, Avengers, a bunch of superheroes coming to Earth, Captain America, la 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 la, a man who turns green because he gets angry. Why is that less far-fetched than a boy who comes out of the ground and has plants growing on his feet?
Pretty odd when the parents were just like writing notes and putting it in their backyard, and something odd happened.
Yeah.
I
Really
know,
odd.
what? He is adopted and we're adopted, and sort of like in the movie, the parents wanted a kid and then they put like paper in this box of what they want the kid to be like, and then
They bury it under.
yeah, they buried it and something weird
And then
happened.
something magical happened overnight.
Yeah, and then that's how they found Timothy.
Love it. I loved the first scene in the beginning when they showed Jennifer Garner and her husband, the Green family, struggling with the fact that they can't have children. And then they sort of give up on their dream, and in the process they just for fun decide to write out the ideals of their child, like what would their child be like. I thought that particular scene was a little, it was so brilliant in the concept, but the execution I thought seemed a little almost like watching an acting class. That was my only, I don't know, my only problem with that. It seemed a little too much, but I love the idea of the scene. I thought it was great that you would put these ideas and these ideals as to what your child would be, because many of us do that. But basically they buried their dream. So it's a film about resurrecting dreams, about life coming from things that you had buried and given up, and the miraculous nature of what happens via the life of a child who would be considered odd or unique.
It's okay to feel odd?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that means
People can feel different when they are adopted because they move to their birth moms to an orphanage. Like first, their number one happy place is their birth mom, and then if their birth mom gives them away to an orphanage, the orphanage becomes a happy place, and then it feels weird moving to place, and some people feel weird that they're adopted and they're let's say they're the only one in their class that's adopted, and everybody has parents from birth in their class. But if you feel that way and you think you're weird when you've been adopted and it's not really good to feel weird, because you should feel happy.
yeah, you should be happy that you actually have a family who can take care of you and stuff, and who can feed you. I actually like being in this family because it's so much fun, and you can learn about the culture, other people's culture
And
too.
right now we're learning Spanish.
Yeah, we're learning her culture, Spanish, and next is gonna be Alex, and hopefully I get to learn mine again.
Okay, so
And hopefully we get to learn French, because that's my favorite city.
the one thing that I will say about the sad ending, but a little bit of a happy twist, is for people who have adopted special needs, especially children that could be having a life or death situation, or even for those of you who are my friends who have also adopted HIV positive children like we have. I have a child who's HIV positive, and I will say that the ending, had he really grasped it, could have been potentially scary for him, because the character who had an issue that they tried to hide with the socks ends up, I don't want to spoil it, but I think this video is already spoiling it, but ceasing to exist. And we were really concerned that our son Alec would think that because he has HIV and is taking meds, that he would assume that he would also be dying. And so that was a struggle that we had to deal with. He did not bring it up. It sort of went over his head because he's 6 years old. But I will say, for those of you who have children that are struggling with this type of thing to begin with, I would pre-screen it on my own before bringing my child. The other thing I'll say for parents who have adopted HIV children, or children that have diagnoses that, or children that just have diagnoses that you're trying to hide, I loved the fact that, they were trying to hide this thing, but in the end, taking off those socks and sort of revealing who he was the very thing that sort of saved a community, as we sort of feel when we're hiding the HIV status sometimes out of shame, similar with the sock over the leg. Oftentimes it's when we reveal the truth in these situations that we see positive change and growth in our world. So, loved the quirkiness of the film. I highly recommend you going. Be just aware if your children are really sensitive to, just be careful with that. Yes, it's probably more of a chick flick than...
Well, it's a mom flick. About adoption, and it's about a kid, and the kid has parents, and a mom is also a parent. And so if there's parents involved, that means that they could relate, and that means, and then the kid at the end of the movie, they leave and they cry, and then they adopt a new kid.
Kids do not come from plants.
Kids do come from plants.
Do not. Big
Plants.
stomachs. No.
Plants. They come out of plants.
Stomachs.
Plants.
Stomachs.
Plants.
We can discuss this later.
It's very good,
to have a kid.
and it's actually good for you to do that because that's what God wants you to do. And
I really
also,
wanna be
people
a-
need family. Please, people, just go look around. Like, there may be some people laying around looking for a family, and you may be one of them. Like, they may be looking for you too. So please go and look for the right.
Oh, and I always wanted to be a parent, so that's why I have this like life-size doll that I like to pretend that I'm a parent and she's a kid, and yeah. But your child won't be grown in the garden.
If he does, it'll be the oddest thing in the whole wide world.
We just have all kinds of fun things for you guys. Thank you. We love our subscribers. We love our viewers. YouTube.com, YouParent, and go see the Disney movie.
Go see the movie! We liked it! We give the Odd Life of Timothy Green 2 pinkies up.
Excellent.
That's how good it is, and you should see it and tell us what you think of it.
You want to say anything else?
Do not try this at home. We are professional floggers. Do not try
You are a
this.
flogger. That's what you are.
Flog?
You just flogged him.
Oh, here's a little story of a mom and dad.
She's no Angelina.
Yeah, and he's not Brad. Raising lots of kids from all over the world. 3 bad boys. Fashionista girls. Sam and Andrew, it's important to mention, were born in New York City via 2 C-sections. Matea was adopted in 2005. She came from Guatemala.
Here's Chica alive.
Ethiopia called in 2008. Adopted 3 siblings, Jared, Ella, and Grace. Adopted again in 2011. Alec came from Ukraine. Now we have 7.